Hi dear viewers, in the follow-up to the various topics on Adobe Experience design projects that we have been working on in the previous sessions, now we get to the second part of the job, where we are going to design a restaurant app on the mobile category. All the structures that you see here has already been designed once and for all. And I am going to design it again so that you can see how things are and how we can design such an application. Okay, I need to give you some explanations on this application as to how it works and operates. And this is a UI mobile app that you are seeing. That's the first and foremost point that you need to take into account. I have tried to design the different sections. The point here is that this is a ready-made sample, something which has already been prepared, and we are going to have something similar to this at the end and see how different parts of it are made, and we are going to use them. And finally, after we have finished the job, we are going to work on the dynamism of this app using transitions and animations so that we can see how we can have these processes on the mobile app performed spectacularly and impeccably. I have tried to choose a project that contains all the necessary elements that you might need on your project and issue the complications that you usually come across on certain apps. You can of course have a much more professional approach. There are different samples that you can download on specific and related websites that are specifically designed for this purpose. The mobile apps that you can analyze and simulate using these sites. But if your purpose and goal is to make a mobile app and use it in real life situations, try to design UIs, that is user interfaces, that can be applicable. Trying to design complicated patterns is going to pose certain problems when you get to the part when you want to turn that app into codes. It could be in different platforms. It could be within the Android Studio, within the web, or in a framework such as React Native. If you want to set it up, you need to be careful so that it can be easily performed, so that you can set up this UI with the least amount of trouble and complications when it comes to writing necessary codes. Such a UI can be easily designed in various frameworks such as Android Studio using XML or React Native in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. You can easily set them up, but surely we aren't going to deal with how we should turn it into codes. We are trying to design such a UI so that we can use it on our projects, and finally, when we are dealing with prototype, you will be able to use these prototypes and apply them in your final work. So if you agree, we are going to see how this UI or user interface is going to be set up one step at a time. So please stay with me and accompany me along the way. Okay, I start with a login page. We zoom in to see how it looks. The login page that we have over here has already been designed. In fact, contains an image that is pre-made. All the shadows that it contains are completely and absolutely ready-made, and we don't need any adjustments. And finally, we will be able to apply all the items that are here. First, I make a backup file from this one, okay, like that. And finally here I delete the items that are contained inside of it. There aren't so many of them. Here I delete these, the items that are inside it, one by one, so that we can have a blank page. Okay, the image that we have here is nothing special. First, we need to design it and get to the other items. I want to design it with a bit of difference to the original idea. We don't want it to be identical. We want to make it a little bit different, so that we can have a beautiful design by the end. Very well. I make this at the center of the screen and start the rest of the work. I don't need a border. Change this to 15, and the shadow that I want to have, okay, it would be set. The shadow here is using the color code with the maximum alpha 8 and blur. The amount of blur is set at 50. Okay, so we use the same thing, set the blur on 59, and finally I set the alpha on 8. Okay, as you see, we have accomplished the HP quite easily, and do the designing. We get to an item. We are going to set the title, an email, or a password that would be set up over here. Here I set this on my, right here, exactly. Alright, quite simply we perform this test to see how things are and how we can work with it. We have some points that need to be taken into account. Okay, set it up here. Welcome back. That's the message that we're going to have, as you can see on the pre-made page. And finally I set a number for this color using the same color code. Use the dark color that is here for my work. Okay, that's it. The next item, enter your email and password. I change this to 20. It is a little, we change it to 30, 25. Yeah, do a little bit of experimentation to get the right size. Your email and password. Okay, I changed the color to this one. Of course, we need to get the item and then use it. I can use the same color code that we have over here. It shouldn't be similar to that one from here. Okay, I can choose this and get on with the rest of the project. Okay, email address and password that we have set up over here. Okay, let me see. Email address. Alright, set the size is 18, like this. I have an item over here. Okay, I say John. No. Set the name as Adam at mail.com. Okay, I set this as 30 and also the color. Okay, or I want to have it exactly the same, so I can copy it. I set it here and move this down a bit. Okay, I use the line gadget here and draw a line like this. Okay, I set the color as the green color that we have here, like this, and the size 2 or more. 3 maybe. 42. And finally the password section, it performs in the background. These two here would be set right there. Okay, it is size. The size would be set as 1. The color would be gray that we have here. And finally, what I do is I say password, and this password is in fact going to its match be made with this color code. I increase the size, okay, so that we can see how it is. We set the password here, we have the words forgot password here, so I copy the words forgot password. That's the message that is going to be shown in case the message was forgotten by the user and needed a little way to find it and regain it. Okay, and set it up again. We don't want it to resemble email section. We want to have some similarities. And finally, the buttons that I set here, I am going to design the buttons based on my own desires and needs and taste. Okay, I set it here and exactly at the center, roundness, so we're going to give it a round shape, so we make round the corners. Okay, and finally what I do is to copy and paste this section. All right, that's it. Yep. Sometimes we set it at the center, see how things are and where it is. Okay, no problem. This is the password. I should set login before the password. Okay, and finally I set it at the center. Okay, very well. That's up to here. So here we succeeded in applying this item based on that, and in the end, this last section is what we're dealing with and what we're left with, what we have on our hands that we need to deal with right now. Okay, so we turn it around, reverse it a bit like that. Going to set it at the center again. Central point is very important. We increase the size, and finally we say don't. That's what we write as a message that is going to be shown. Don't have an account, and that's the final option that the user is going to face. In case he doesn't have an account, he needs to sign up. Do a little bit of sign up. Sorry for the trouble. Okay, and the gray color. Okay, I can use the color code here, of course. This occupied the entire section over here. I set it up like that. That would do for now. If you want to fix it, we need to bifurcate or bifurcate this section. I cut this into halves and copy and paste it again. Okay, and set it over there like this. Okay, and let me see what we got over here. The thickness would be set on bold. Okay, and the color would be set at the gray that we have here. Okay, very well. That's up to here. We have almost nothing left, just some alignments and paralleling that we need to do and apply on this page. Okay, That's up to here. We have designed the first graph on the login page. Now we are going to deal with the other pages of the website, which is not going to be that difficult because other pages are going to be based on the first one. We are going to take care of the prototype topic and give it a transition format. So if you agree, we get on with the rest of the work in the coming session. Stay with me for that more. Okay guys, in the previous session we designed the login page and we noticed how pages can be set here and how we can design them one by one. Okay, but now what we are going to do is, before making the login page, we are going to have a splash page as well. In the previous session I wanted to do this, but in order to make things more aesthetically beautiful, I am going to have a page called a splash screen with some explanations on the app, and finally we are going to deal with the transition on our page. Here I make a copy and set it there. Okay, I delete the items inside the page except for this image. We set them here, and finally, okay, I delete these items. I just keep this one, and let's see, the end, I set it at the center of the page, center of the screen, and this one would be put over here. Okay, like that, we have ourselves a treat. Okay, I choose the highlight mode. I use this color code. Let me use the dark one. Okay, it is much better. We increase the size. Finally, a shadow is given to it so that the work becomes more exciting and appealing. And here, this is a splash screen page. We can give a color to this page to make things more beautiful, but we don't want it to be green. We rather have it a little different, so let's just go with green to make things more different. If we want, we can have gradients, but we use this so that we can make things more exciting, and we start our work with it. Here I set it under the image. Okay, and finally we're ready to go. This one is going to be a text that's going to be set here. Mobile application. Okay, for instance, food. This one would be set over here. Okay, the size is decreased to 40. It decreased the size of the font of this text. Alright, and finally I want to do another thing. I want to have a button here. Okay, so I set a button. This button is going to be set at the center, the green control that I have here. I want to change it to white. Okay, and the word login that I wrote is going to be set here like that, to green or black. Doesn't make any difference. We can choose any of the spectrum of colors that we have in front of us. Here we pay attention to make things more beautiful. Instead of login, I say go here. I set it at the center. Now we are going to have a prototype for it, so that when we click on go, then it is going to be moved to a login page. I copy this item from the pages that are available here. This section over here along this item. Okay, it's going to be and set it inside other pages like that. That is in this page and use it here. Okay, I can design this one in order to improve the speed of the work. We are going to design these items one by one and see how things are and work. Okay, here we have a back page. We are going to set the back page here. We are going to have these two pages. I go to the prototype section. Here I choose this. I am going to go to this page and set the transition as auto animate. That's what I'm going to do, and finally set it like this. And if I play it now, as you see, it is showing the items very beautifully. Even for logging in, I can set the prototype, and here I say easy out and play it. Okay, to see how it works. Alright. Okay, just like that. Very well. Here I delete the code that we have here so that we can design the rest of the page. For the rest of the pages, what we are going to have here in the main page that we have here, I set it there like that because there are two items here. We need two items as well to be shown as a scroll. We are going to have a scroll so that we can see the item there. Okay, I decreased the size of the page that we have here, the designing section. I make a copy out of this. Alright, like that. And finally, I delete this. Any page that I design. Okay, I am going to delete their items one by one. I correct the names like this: a splash for a splash screen, login. Okay, and finally, this would be the next page. If you pay attention, here we are missing a page, and that is the sign up page. We need to design the sign up page for our website. I use this page as the sign up section of our page so that we would be able to have that app on the sign up page. Very well, I set this here, but the items that are here, I delete them one by one. This one is the same. Okay, and here instead of sign up, I set the sign in. Okay, and finally I am going to use this. I don't want to have this part over here. Okay, very well. Here I set a sign in section. And finally, when we move on, I am going to set the prototype to have access to our work better. Okay, here the username section that we have the name, family, email, and password. So I delete these items to have this page. From here I copy these items one by one and set them on this page. I move them here so that I would know how things are and how they work. I set this name as a full name. Okay, and we need to use this. Okay, and here we set the full name. Alright, that's it. The full name would be set over here in this section, and here we copy this. We can have this one with the same format in the same format. Okay, here I say sign up. That's it. I set this at the center. Okay, full name. Here we say email address. For instance, here we say phone number, your phone number, and finally new passport. Yep, that's it, new passport. That's the registration page that we are going to have. We finished the prototype section. And let's see, here I finished this part. It enters here. If we hit sign up, it is going to be redirected over there automatically. The easing section, if it signs up, is going to be redirected to this page. Is out, and finally the other items. Okay, I run this once to see how things are. Okay, I hit this, set it here. Okay, the sign up section, like that. Sign in. Very beautifully, it is working very well. That's up to here, and finally we go to the page of the main application. Now we can design this page based on our taste and preferences, or choose a different format that matches our liking. But I am going to make some differences on the surface and move on. So if you agree, that is what we are going to do. We are going to use the elements on this app, the elements that are required for the repetitive pages that we are going to make. And for instance, the section related to navigation and the contents that are on the main page of the main view, we can design them like that, and we can design the main page the way we want. And finally, when we want to perform the task, we can move the main page to here through prototype, so that it can see these pages and work with them, so that you can observe the work in a much better and improved format and move on with the work. Okay, very well. So that is what I do, and using this page I want to have a sign up section. I make a copy out of this and I set it over here like that, and now I zoom back a little so that you see the overall stance of things, and move it here, main. So this is the main page, and we are going to have these in order and move on with the work in the coming sessions. So stay with me.